us about a German African cloth or textile. Today's video or live is on South African Shweswhe cloth, and we're going to learn about its complex history, origins, and uses, plus where you can also purchase them from. And if that's something that sounds like it tickles your fancy, I encourage you to subscribe and let's get into it. A quick introduction: my name is Ashanwa. Welcome to LAJA. This is a channel dedicated to African fashion, print, and textiles. I'm very passionate about promoting their beauty, diversity, and versatility in a modern way and showcasing the different ways they can be incorporated into your wardrobe and lifestyle. So I encourage you to join my community, subscribe, engage with the videos, like, comment, and let me know what more you would want to see in my channel. So I have my notes over here in my African print journal that I made myself, and I'm going to be referencing it often. So if you see me looking down, that's the reason. So I already earlier mentioned that we're discussing South African Shweswhe cloth, and this is actually a textile that has a very complex history. It's rooted in European and South African history, and you could call it very similar to Ankara or African print in the sense that it was introduced by the Europeans, but it quickly became a symbol of pride and a symbol of pride for the South Africans. So, what is Shweswhe cloth? Shweswhe is a printed and indigo dyed cloth or fabric made from cotton, and it is native to South Africa, as I earlier mentioned. It comes in indigo blue, red, and brown. But today you can actually get it in a variety of bright colors like yellow, black, green, turquoise, pumpkin, and even shocking pink. And this is according to the Dagama Textiles. So Dagama is the primary manufacturer and producer of authentic Shweswhe cloth. So in terms of its patterns, Shweswhe comes in geometric patterns due to its timeless popularity and has been dubbed the denim or tartan of South Africa. And this makes sense given its blue or indigo look and design, and it's dubbed as the tartan or denim of South Africa. So what's in the name? The cloth is named after King Moshoeshoe I of Lesotho, who popularized it upon receiving it as a gift from German settlers in the 1800s. So again, this cloth was introduced into South Africa by the Germans, so it does have European roots and European origins, very similar to African print textiles as well. And initially, most indigo cloth was imported from Holland and indigo and India. And the dye was obtained from the natural indigo plant, which isn't necessarily the case today. In the mid 1800s, as the establishment of seaports at what was then known as the Cape of Good Hope, Dutch settlers introduced Shweswhe to Eastern Cape and Natal. Initially, German women settlers wore the cloth and created such a huge demand for Shweswhe that it started being imported into South Africa from Germany. Eventually, the Xhosa women, so Xhosa is a tribe in South Africa and is spelled Xhosa. The women incorporated it into their own dressing as replacements for their coverings, and the ladies just loved how the dark indigo blue contrasted against their dark skin, and I honestly don't blame them. Indigo blue is one of my favorite colors, and I'm kind of wearing blue today to honor. This isn't Shweswhe that I'm wearing, but I'm wearing it to kind of like represent the blueness that is Shweswhe. So in the 18th and 19th century, it was a very innovative era for the textile industry in the sense that European manufacturers developed a new printing technique called block and discharge, and a German scientist also created a synthetic version of indigo dye that is still being used today in place of the natural dye. So using these printing techniques, the fabric was printed in Czechoslovakia and Hungary by a man named Gustav Dusch. So Gustav Dusch was a huge pioneer of the Shweswhe cloth, in terms of really transforming the manner in which it was created. He emigrated to England, where he set up a factory manufacturing Shweswhe cloth, and eventually his factory was acquired by another England-based firm or England-based textile company in the 1930s. At this time, Shweswhe had such a high demand that there were 4 factories producing it, with 3 cats being the most popular. So I don't have a lot of visuals in this video, but I'm going to link in the comment section the first video I did on Shweswhe cloth that has a lot more visuals and pictures of how the cloth looks like. So in the 1980s, Shweswhe production was introduced to South Africa when another UK company invested in Dagama Textiles. Initially, the fabrics were printed and exported from the UK, but Dagama Textiles soon bought ownership of the South African targeted line called 3 Leopards. So we have 3 cats as a parent company and 3 leopards as a South African targeted line. So the original copper engraved rollers were shipped from the UK to South Africa, where they're still being manufactured and used till today. As a result, Dagama Textiles is the only authentic manufacturer of Shweswhe cloth, and it's made in South Africa. And honestly, I really love that for the country, because I just love when things are made domestically in an effort to help promote and drive the local economy. And clothing is something we all need and we all wear. So the fact that it's made within South Africa is amazing. And Dagama is the top dog when it comes to original Shweswhe cloth. So this leads me to the next portion of the video, which is how do you authenticate Shweswhe cloth? How do you know you have the real deal? Well, first things first, authentic Shweswhe cloth is made from 100% cotton. I read online that the cotton is imported from Zimbabwe and then manufactured in South Africa, but that could have changed over the years. I'm not sure how up to date that information is, but authentic Shweswhe is made from cotton and it is produced in South Africa. The second way to authenticate Shweswhe is that it's 90 centimeters wide compared to other textiles that are typically 150 centimeters wide. So you would know it by its width. So when you're shopping for Shweswhe, you can ask the seller or read in the description to tell if it is 90 centimeters wide or not. The third way to authenticate Shweswhe is that it has a stiff and starchy feel. And this, I'm going to go into the origins of why this is the case. So earlier in the days, starch was added to the cloth to protect it from the elements while it was being shipped in boats to its final destination. It's still being done till today, so that practice is still upheld. But once you wash the Shweswhe, or it's advised to wash authentic Shweswhe cloth upon receiving it, because it becomes softer and it shrinks slightly once the excess starch has been removed. So that is the third way you would know authentic Shweswhe. It's by its stiffness and by its starchy feel. The fourth and probably the most important way to know about authentic Shweswhe is the taste test. So this taste test essentially is done whereby you lick the fabric, because authentic Shweswhe has a salty taste to it, and you find that fabric traders and textile enthusiasts follow this practice to authenticate the fabric or the textile. So you lick it, it should have a salty taste to it if it's our original authentic Shweswhe. And then last but not the least, I've already said this several times, but I will just wrap it up with this. Um, Authentic Shweswhe is manufactured and produced exclusively by Dagama Textiles in South Africa. So when you are purchasing from resellers, you want to ensure that the origin is from South Africa. And you would also see that on the reverse of the cloth, there will be a stamp that says Dagama Textiles or three cats on it. That's another way you can authenticate that it's original Shweswhe. And you can watch my previous Shweswhe video to see how the three cats logo looks like, or you could just Google it and go to the Dagama Textiles website and see all the details there for yourself too. I encourage you to do the research and also kind of like look into what I'm saying, and so you have more knowledge for yourself. So that is it for the history of Shweswhe. We've gone into the origins, we've gone into the history, we have talked about how to authenticate it. Now the next thing we're going to be discussing is the use of Shweswhe. What is it used for? So Shweswhe is used for a variety of things. It's used for clothing, it's used for accessories, so books, journals, decor, pillows, and more, but it's primarily used for clothing. The original use was as a covering for the German women and eventually the kosher women as body coverings, but you will see that there are designers who incorporate it into their collection, African fashion designers who incorporate it into their collection to help modernize it and make it keep the demand up for the textile. It's also the choice fabric for traditional ceremonies. It was worn by kings, politicians, socialites, and even everyday rural women, like I earlier mentioned. And so you will see that this textile spans across various socioeconomic ladders, and it's a very versatile piece to have in your wardrobe. Shweswhe serves as the official South African fabric and has a strong place in African high fashion, like I mentioned earlier, thanks to designers who incorporate them in their pieces and their collections. So some notable fashion designers that you can really look into if you want to learn more about how Shweswhe is incorporated in a more modern way are Amanda Laird Cherry, Maria McCloy, and Bongiwe Walaza. So these are some fashion designers that you can look into that do use Shweswhe in their pieces and collection. And last but not the least, you're probably wondering, where can you buy authentic Shweswhe from? So South Africa is the hub, but I know that there are definitely resellers who do participate in its trade. And I found one on Etsy that I like and I will be purchasing from, and that is Urban's Tax. So it's Urbanstax. They're an Etsy store and they specialize in Shweswhe fabric. So I checked their website, I checked the description, I saw that a lot of them were 90 centimeters wide, and I felt that they were an authentic reseller of Shweswhe cloth. They're also based in the UK too. So there's that, and I think that makes sense given the origins of Shweswhe, that it was manufactured in the UK before it came to South Africa. And yeah, so you can check out that Etsy store. I think if you're in the United States, that will be your best bet and your easiest bet. So if you do shop from that Etsy store, please tell them I sent you. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this teaching. I have shared all the knowledge that I have currently, and I'm not seeing any comments in the live chat right now, which is fine. So I'm going to just do a quick outfit check and we can sign off. So as you can see, I'm wearing blue today. That's like my look, and I have my Ankara jacket. This is what it looks like. I have this really pretty Ankara jacket that I've had for years now. I just paired it with a two-piece set. And then my headband is available for sale on my website, misslaja.com. This is in the color Lapis Lazuli, and I just felt that it fits super well with my outfit, so I decided to pair it. I have my earrings. These are also handmade by my mom as well, and I love them. And then I also have my everyday jewelry that I wear essentially over here. So thank you all for watching. Tell me what you learned about Shweswhe. I feel like for me, I'm really opening up my mind because I earlier on in my YouTube career I used to be like, oh, I'm pro Africa, like pro made in Africa. But when I realized and did the research and saw that it was a lot more complex than I thought, I'm a little bit more open because I feel like we live in a global economy and things are fluid. Culture is fluid. It's constantly being changed. It's constantly evolving, and it's constantly being influenced by people, places, and just life in general. So I feel like I'm at peace with the fact that Shweswhe wasn't originally African. It became African through its people, essentially, and I think that's okay. It just goes to show you that you can start something one way, but it can evolve into a complete different thing, and that's okay too. So that is it for today's live. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Shweswhe cloth in the comments section. And let me know what other textile you want to see. I have a lot more that I will be discussing. I have Adire, I have Adinkra cloth. So I have a lot more teachings coming up that I'm excited to share with you all. But if there's anyone in particular you'd like to see, please let me know down in the comment section and I will be happy to oblige. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next live. Bye.